Hello, this is Malorian, and this will be a 25-point game of my Bethayne against Butcher. So this was my fourth league game of the day. Because my caster had died in the last time, I had to switch it out, so now I'm going back to good old Bethayne, my favorite caster. And I got stuck on the same table, all the other tables are being used, and but I'm up against my old buddy here in his K-Door. Funny enough, I haven't played him yet in this league so far. He's had some rough luck so far, so he was looking to get some wins against me. Anyway, in my Bethayne 25-point list, I have a Hellion and Sorceress on the far left. I have my Hex Hunters, I have a Carnivian, Belphegor, and then the Black Frost Shard, and then Bethayne in the back. And then for his side, in the front, he has his Mana Wars there with his shields. Then he has his Demolition Core in the back, two Juggernauts on the right, and then there's Butcher. So this is a tier list, so that's why he's able to sneak it in, because something's cheaper. I'm not sure what it is. But, this is a list you have to be careful with, because the shield wall takes a lot to take out, and then everything else hits really hard. So I'm going to be very careful with it. So he gets first turn, he knows that I'm no threat at this range, and just runs up. My turn 1 is really just setting up for the big turn 2 hit, so I got my Hellion that goes way off on the flank. Bethayne goes and puts Ashen Veil up on the Hex Hunters and moves up. The Hex Hunter's obviously there as well. Belphegor makes sure to be up front and center with the Carnivian behind. Black Frost Shard are there with the stealth up just in case. And really want this all to be happening here is it's all going to be about my next turn and the next feat turn. And I got something nasty planned. His turn 2, this is where he starts being a little bit more cautious. He is now in shield wall, and they're moved up. The Juggernauts are there ready to counter. Everything's really there to counter after I try doing anything to a shield wall. But what my trick is going to be is, of course, I got Gallows. And so I'm going to move up Belphegor, Gallows the second and fourth shield, and then all of a sudden he won't be in shield wall. My feet will be off, and then my Hex Hunters can just move in and just wipe the floor. Of course, I got my spray coming up from my Hellion on the left. That's going to do a lot of damage, and hopefully I can just really cripple him and then leave him really to only counter my Hex Hunters, which will be hard for him to hit. The part that was really unfortunate is that when I first did this, at first I went up with Bethayne, put up the feet just like I'm supposed to and all this stuff, but, that's after Belphegor moved up. But the thing is that even with the feet, I was unable to get off my Gallows on one of those Mana Wars, and that's because he had a spell up that gave them a higher defense. So after that happened, it took me a lot of work to try and kill that one number 2 so that the shield wall was completely broken before I could actually start doing some real damage. And so in the end, I probably ended up killing 2 less models than I planned on. And so really, given that failure, I decided then to switch up my tactics with the Black Frost Shard, and they decided to start sending their shots at Butcher instead. So I took off about a little over half of his hit points already. Didn't manage to quick freeze him or anything, but now I'm kind of threatening him attrition-wise and caster kill-wise. So his turn 3 now, he's coming at me, and my Ashen Veil really saved me, especially with my Hellion there on the left. His double swing was making it a lot easier for him to get the job done, though, but in the end I was left with half my Hex Hunters and, of course, all my beasts ready to do their thing. And so now I just have to decide whether I want to continue the attrition or try and figure out the caster kill. And really, I had to go with more of the attrition. I really did want to try and get it done, but it just didn't happen. So really what happened is that my Hex Hunters and things started blasting up the Demo Corpse as best as they could. I went and I did the Gallows onto his Butcher, was only able to get it off once, didn't really do enough damage. Then I went up to the Carnivian, slammed the Juggernaut over him, still wasn't enough to really get anything done. Really messed up the other Juggernaut there on the right, and yeah, now I just gotta see what he does in return, because he could really hurt me. My Animus is up with Belphegor, but that's only gonna do so much right now. K-Door turn 4, and he pretty much does what I hoped he was going to do, and that was actually to be more defensive. He pulled back Butcher, and he just was really going in to engage me with his juggernauts. He really cleared out the rest of my hex hunters, so they're pretty much all useless now. And really now he's just open for the caster kill. And in the end, I did get it done, but it was only just barely. I charged Belphegor into him, swatted at him a few times, didn't really do enough damage, then arced through him to be blasting him. Again, didn't do enough damage, left him with just a few hit points, and that left me in a lot of trouble because I didn't really have much else I could even throw at him. So what I had to end up doing is just risk a free strike from the Juggernaut, and it did massive damage, but luckily didn't knock out any of my branches. And then by breathing fire on him, I was able to boost and was able to hit him and actually kill him. So it came close, but I got it done. So victory to Bethayne. I think the big things from this was I really liked my setup for my feat. I think it went off very well. Maybe I got a little bit sloppy in the follow-up. It didn't seem like it really went as well as I had planned, but either way, there you go. It's another win with my favorite caster, and this is pretty much now the end of this point size for the league. I'm going to have one more 25-point game with my buddy just because he needed one more to hit the 3 target, and then after this we're back up to 30 points, so that should be fun. See you then. Bye.